Hey, howdy. Today's gonna be relatively chill. I'm just gonna be doing dailies today. And I think I am actually going to do the alto path because there was some stuff that I missed. There's actually a menu theme here. But there's also Sandy Plains, and I'm 90% sure this is Amoeba Woods, so I guess we can start with that. So that's relatively easy to get to. But yeah, things have been good. Things have been good and pleasant. Where is... there you are. I keep wanting to call this place Modder on Keyboard. It has not been called Modder on Keyboard in a long time. I guess the internal name for the map still calls it Moderon, so I have some cause to do it. But today is... I'm excited for today for a couple of reasons. Besides the fact that I just have a bunch of free time and can slowly chip away at my backlog. Later today, I'm going to be doing something with a friend that is... I'm probably going to end up regretting. Maybe not. Not gonna explicitly say what it is, because if this ends up being fun, I don't wanna, oh. Oh, shit, no, that's Sandy Cavern, not Sandy Plains. If this ends up being fun, I kind of want to play this game on the main channel, and that's all I'm going to say for the time being, but, stay tuned is all I'm going to say. Stay tuned. Apparently the game, I checked how long to beat, and the game is like 6.5 hours long, give or take, so I'll probably be able to finish it in a day when I'm on call with a friend. Okay, there's the vending machine, hang on. Where is that connection? Oh, okay. So I just need to keep going this direction. Here we are. This is the teleport maze. Which, this is a massive headache. But I don't have to go here. I can just keep going forward. It's the blob. There we go. And here is... I think here's... yeah. I felt a little bubble in my soul of MF Doom's song lyrics, and I had to stop myself from saying it. Oh wait, this it's the other one. I don't know if I mentioned it explicitly, but at the request of a friend, I ended up listening to a decent amount of MF Doom, and I still have not listened to too many of his albums. I've only listened to, like, his two big ones, Mad Villainy and Food. But they're both really good. They're both really... I love an album that is funny. So if it's got, like, simultaneously good flows, good beats, but also good, funny lyrics, like, I see no issues there. That's my ideal music listening situation. Similar reason why I got so into Neil Cicerega. Exhibition... It's up. Ugh. And then, what do we got? Zany plates, okay. That's not bad, that's not bad at all. And then this, if I remember correctly, this is a jumping off point for a lot of Roku stuff, right? Yeah, Aquamarine Cave. And then if you were to keep going, it'd be Aquamarine Cave, and then Psychedelic Stone Path, yeah. Frigid Meadow. Wacky Worms is connected to this world, no kidding. I appreciate that world has kind of become, like... Roku's worlds have kind of become, like, the paths between, and a lot of authors do connect up to them. That's good. I wish more authors did that. But yeah, MF Doom is really enjoyable. And also, bonus points for me because it's Fantastic Four. Like, MF Doom built up his entire persona around Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four. I'm going the wrong way. Built up his entire persona based on Doctor Doom from the Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four and other, like, assorted Fantastic Four shows. Which is awesome. The unfortunate downside is that he is the only reason people know Doctor Doom these days, besides the fact that he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday, and yippee, can't wait. I definitely don't have extremely mixed feelings about modern Marvel. And especially Fantastic Four. I am shocked that the new Fantastic Four movie, Fantastic Four First Steps, was, like, actually kind of decent. Because, I forget if I've talked about this before, but this is an interesting little rabbit hole I went down at one point. So, the Fantastic Four is kind of a cursed... It's kind of a cursed series when it comes to doing film adaptations. And this has been a known thing for a while. That every single time a studio has tried to turn it into a series, they've fallen on their ass trying. And, like, the end result it's usually been, like, not just whatever, like dentist office tier. Like, if someone puts it on for you, you're not going to complain, but it's not a very good movie. But there's a couple of... I'm mainly referring to the Fox ones here. Because, to give a little bit more context here, the Fantastic Four ended up in a very weird situation. Both the Fantastic Four and the X-Men were bought out by Fox at a certain point. Because, I forget the exact reasoning, I think Marvel just was under hard financial times and ended up selling off a few of their series. But I always got the impression that it was a little bit more acrimonious than that, because on the Fantastic Four end, around the time that Fox, like, ended up buying the rights, the Fantastic Four started an arc called The Fall of the Fantastic Four. Which, I mean, if you've read Fantastic Four stuff before, you might have heard of it. There's a chance that you haven't. That is one of the most outwardly spiteful pieces of media I have ever read in my life. It was, like, honestly impressive. It's part of the reason why I really, like... Part of the reason why I had such a strong response to playing Yick was that, like, that abrasion really came through, because that's an abrasion that I had seen in other media before. Just a sheer hatred for a very specific person, a very specific group. Not racism per se, but I mean, like, corporate hatred. And it was fascinating to see it happen in real time. It was also very depressing, because, like, hey, by the way, Fantastic Four is dead again, lol. Okay, yeah. But what had seemingly happened is that Fox got the rights to these series, and then Stan Lee and, like, the writers of the Fantastic Four went out of their way to tank the series as much as possible before it entered Fox's hands. And this is I'm not gonna say this is common in the entertainment industry, but I have seen it happen before. Another instance that I've seen something similar to this was a fun fact is that the Pokemon Company used to not have explicit rights to the Pokemon trading card. It used to be in the hands of Wizards of the Coast, I believe. And the Pokemon Company ended up getting the rights, and in a final act of spite, the Pokemon Company tried to sink the... They tried to crash the Pokemon economy, essentially, because that's where all the money was. And what they ended up doing is they ended up trying to flood the market with reprints and incorrect printings. Oh shit, this is the area with chasers, isn't it? Yeah, so it's diagonally this way. I should be seeing it any second. Whoa. Yes, barely. Goofball. But yeah, in a final act of defiance, they tried to tank the value before it passed along over to the Pokemon Company. And, I mean, if you know anything about Pokemon cards, you know that didn't work. But back to what I was talking about before, I believe something similar was happening. Where the Pokemon Company, Marvel Comics ended up trying to tank any sort of goodwill related to the Fantastic Four so that Fox had to pick up the pieces. This is not in support of Fox, by the way, because, as it happens, all of the Fantastic Four movies that were made under Fox were mediocre to actively terrible. There was a set of 2 movies that were made in collaboration with Fox. There was, I think it was just called Fantastic Four, and then Rise of the Silver Surfer. And Rise of the Silver Surfer, I remember, I've heard is, like, better? It's not quite as... Like, it's not quite to the level of even the other superhero movies that were coming out around that time, because it's easy to forget. Before the late 2000s, superhero movies were kind of a joke. It took a long time for anyone to take these kinds of movies seriously because they were always schlock. They were always, like, bottom of the barrel, like, just put whoever on it, put whatever writer, it doesn't really matter. It's the equivalent to how people thought the Lego movie was going to bomb because... Or not bomb, rather. How they thought it was going to be slop because, you know, it's called the Lego movie. It's like, that doesn't really fill you with the highest of expectations. But, in spite of that, Lego movie ended up coming out really well. And I think part of that is because, my personal crackpot theory about the Lego movie is that it was, one of those movies like Star Wars where it had a cohesive narrative because it was directly aping the, Joseph Campbell's Monomyth. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's always like a sneaking suspicion that I've had. Not to say that I like the Monomyth, I actively hate it, but I'll touch on that later. So, what ended up happening with Fox is Fox ended up releasing 2 different movies in that set. And then time passed and they released a 3rd one. And this 3rd movie has, I think it has like a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes or something ridiculous like that. It is, like, truly awful in every conceivable way. It's also where that gif, if you've seen that gif of, like a character, I forget exactly who plays the Human Torch, nodding and saying, like, say that again. That's from Fantastic Four. Because there is actually a moment where they say, like, we're the Fantastic Four. Wait, say that again. because I couldn't even tell you why. Oh yeah, wait, Amplitude is not where I need to go. But, interestingly enough, you might think there's only one more, because there's the new one that came out. There was actually another one, and this was the old Fantastic Four is really interesting to read about in retrospect. I don't know if it would have been a very good movie had it actually come out. But there was a version of the Fantastic Four that was created by the legendary B-movie director Roger Corman. Now, this is an interesting case. So, Roger Corman is kind of famous / infamous. There was a lot of, like, praise given to him in recent times because he's passed away recently. But, am I going the right... Hang on, where do I need to go here? I've just been walking around in circles. Bloom 99, stereo station... Hang on. Oh, right. Hang on. So I was right to follow that path, but I ended up going the wrong side of the exit ramp. It's just like driving on the highway normally. So the thing about Roger Corman movies is that Roger Corman movies are not great. Like, he had a reputation for doing everything on a shoestring budget. Shoestring acting direction, shoestring special effects, especially because it was the 90s. He had a reputation for this stuff. And what ended up happening is that he found a group of people that were genuinely really passionate about it, in spite of it all. And credit to them, it was fun. It's like it's a really cute, like, what little footage, like the rough cut of the movie still exists. It looks cute. It doesn't look very good, but it does look cute. I'm going the wrong way, I think. Hang on. How do I get from Tunnel Track back over to Bloom 99? Is there a way? Tunnel Track. Oh, I see. So I just need to... I need to exit this. I was just here, and here I am getting lost again. But yeah, Roger Corman made a version of the Fantastic Four. It looked pretty bad, but there was a certain amount of genuine passion there. And then the project got canned before it even released. Now, this is something that has happened in film before. It happened, like, most famously recently, it happened with Coyote vs. Acme before the project was resuscitated. It also happened with, I want to say, Batgirl, which I believe was also... No, I don't think that was a Fox thing. But yeah, in a shocking turn of events, this is not the first time Fox has done this, nor is it the last time they'll probably do it. Here's Alto. Nice. Okay. I want to get a picture of the sign this time. Cause like this is so fun. I really like this. 1-800-RETROSPECT. Call now. By the way, I ended up looking into it, and there wasn't anything explicitly on the wiki about what happens to that room when text effects are off. But I saw on the map, it just tears the billboards that you can't see the text. I think it's here, right? Yeah! Oh my god. But the Roger Corman project ended up getting canned before the movie even released. They had done like the bulk of the work on it, and then they ended up pulling the plug. Marvel ended up pulling the plug because they were shifting over to... Where am I going? Oh. Oh. Neat. Marvel ended up pulling the plug because they were transitioning over to hiring Fox to make the movie instead. Oh. I don't think I've seen this place, actually. Let's go here. Another set of worlds through Amoeba Woods. But yeah, the movie got canned. Surprisingly, it survived, though. There were, like, test prints that managed to survive, and they ended up popping up in all sorts of places in, like... There was, like, screenings of the movie in, like, impoverished countries that ended up slipping under Fox's radar. Which means that that eventually ended up... It led to bootlegs of bootlegs of bootlegs that degraded the hell out of the quality, but it does still exist. Which, I mean, the fact that it exists at all is kind of a miracle. Oh, wait, I'm going the wrong way. Now, was it good? No. I will give the actors credit that they seemed like they were having a blast, and they all seemed like fans of the comic. But it's still a B movie. Like, I don't fault them for pulling the plug. It's just kind of a dick move the way that they pulled the plug. Ooh. Oh my god. I love seeing like sharp contrasts in style like this, because the rest of the area is looks a little like visually rough, and then there's this area that's like pure photorealism. I love that. But yeah, New Fantastic Four was pretty good. I'm not gonna go out of my way to say that it was amazing. It was pretty good. it had problems. But the fact that it wasn't actively miserable to watch was like I'm fine with that. My only genuine complaint is I was not huge on how they handled Galactus. He looked really, really, really good. Like something to note is that the Rise of the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer is like famously Galactus's herald. But there's the way Galactus works is he's this cosmic devourer, man the size of a planet who not even really a man. Goes from place to place in search of planets to feed. Oh, there we go. And most of the time, it's a very emotionless thing. He feeds because he likes to feed, or not even because he likes to feed, because he has to feed. And he feels remorse and mourns these worlds in his own way, but that's not going to stop him from feeding. And I feel like the new movie tried way too hard to make him, like, cartoonish supervillain, and that kind of didn't work. I don't think that really worked to the film's advantage. Oh, hello. No kidding, Chocolate World. Chocolate World, Despair Road, Spider's Nest. A lot of classic evil locations. I'm in the evil world. Yeah, Despair Road. This is a classic area. Spider's Nest. This is one of the Sniper Bob areas, I believe, right? This is one of the places you have to go to access, Holiday Hell. Not Holiday Hell. Horror Maze, excuse me. Spider's Nest. Violent Fruit District. I don't know if I've been here. I have a mental image of what this could be, and that makes me very happy. Oh. Not quite what I had in mind, but this is still fun. No other connections besides Binding Site, though. And then Bleeding Head's Garden. Where in Bleeding Head's Garden is this? Oh, no kidding. Yeah, that's not that far off at all. Because, like, Red Streetlight World is right up there on the corner. Have I seen the Tongue Monster room before? That's a very scary sentence. Oh! What did I just step in? I stepped in man. It's always such a struggle. It's always such a struggle to find good thumbnails for these videos, not because not a lot happens, but because so much happens. I did not expect to see that. And now I'm pondering making that the thumbnail. Whoa. There's your Tongue Monster. Very cool. But yeah, to briefly touch on Joseph Campbell, because we're kind of running out of time here. Joseph Campbell, I've never been huge on. If you've never heard of him, he had this, like, a set of interviews called The Power of Myth, and a school of logic called the Monomyth. And the logic of the Monomyth is that all stories derive from the same, like, first principles. There's one story archetype that all other stories derive from. The problem is that the view is really, really, really Eurocentric, and also falls apart at the slightest breeze. But I remember one of my teachers in high school was absolutely obsessed with it and had everyone in the English department read it. So I was exposed to it. And the reason why I brought up George Lucas is because George Lucas actually, like, directly based the plot of Star Wars on the Monomyth. In particular, on the book is called, like, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, I think? The Man with a Thousand Faces, something like that. And to add a little bit more, what on earth are you? And to add a little bit more mild disgust to the equation, Joseph Campbell's own works, you might, like, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, that concept might sound a little familiar. It is directly based on Carl Jung's analytical psychology and the collective unconscious. Which, gross. Okay, hang on. Hey, no, it'll do. But yeah, not a fan. But I think that's all I got for now. This was a productive day. We got to see a bunch of cool stuff. Let me find... There are the penguins. Let me chill with the penguins. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.